Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Hearthstone Legendary Series. My name is Asmocutie, once again joined by Hype and Plantronics, always stepping up their game with those esports
It was a
commercials.
sick commercial.
That was definitely a sick commercial. We just saw GCT Turf take out Limujux 3-0 for our first match in Group A. Coming up in just a bit, we will be going into koroneko versus Lifecoach. Lifecoach currently, I believe, ranked number 3 in the world by Ghosted
Yes.
Gamers. He has one of the best records right now in the Kingwin Pro League in the KPL. I believe he's 12-1.
Something, 12-1, 15-1, something ridiculous.
Yeah, so he is definitely on the rise. In 2015, he's seen quite a bit of success over tournaments across the globe. And koroneko actually is a Japanese player, really young Japanese player. He does stream sometime as well. He actually told me that Lifecoach is his favorite player. He really
That's good
looks
to
up
hear.
to him. He likes his demeanor, his professionalism, and he was really excited when I talked to him to actually play against Lifecoach in the first round. So you've met koroneko on the ladder a couple times.
Yeah, I've seen him on ladder a lot. He streams on Twitch a little bit, and he also streams on like some Japanese site too. So he's just making his way over to Twitch now. He's known for like Priest a lot. He got like really high ranked with the Priest, and I usually see him playing Priest a lot. He's not bringing Priest today though, because maybe it's not the greatest in Conquest. We see Lifecoach. Warlock, probably going to be that Demon Lock. He loves Demon Lock, or he loves Hand Lock. It's probably gonna have some demons in it. It's usually super greedy Hand Lock.
Yeah.
He's known for his greed lock. I think he made that.
Yeah. Lifecoach is AFK at the moment, but we promise you he will be back. He's going to be going with Warlock, Paladin, Druid as his 3 class choices. And Paladin versus Paladin is going to be the first matchup. So sort of a toss-up with that one. Are there any like tech choices that you can make besides like Harrison Jones that are going to improve your matchup against like Paladin Mirror? Are there any cards that could be like swing cards, sort
Well,
of?
the mind control tech is some paladins play it, some don't. It's gonna be pretty good in the mirror. Rag, I've seen Rag, but that's not gonna be too impactful in the mirror. But I know Lifecoach loves the piloted Sky Golem. Sometimes he even runs 2, and I mean that seems pretty strong. It's like immune to Equality Consecrate. You know, if you you can Aldor only the first half.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty strong creature.
Yeah. Also, another story for this matchup is so far in the Legendary Series, koroneko, at least today in the matches, koroneko is the youngest player playing today, and Lifecoach is the oldest at 18 and 33 years old.
Awesome, awesome.
So that's pretty cool. We saw koroneko when he booted up the Skype call. He was actually giving Lifecoach a little wave.
He looks pretty confident. He said it's his favorite player. You'd think he'd be scared, but he's ready.
Oh no, he was confident. I was actually talking to him. His English is pretty good, but he is from Japan. He says one of his favorite things to do is to study English. So he really likes to make sure that he can speak the language. He wants to be a pro gamer. He wants to like get famous on Twitch and
Awesome.
stream and stuff. He said he was trying to tell me that he needed confidence to win, that he shouldn't be intimidated. And he said, if I lose my mind, then I'll lose my body, and if I lose my body, then I'll lose the game.
Awesome.
It was
it's probably like a Japanese phrase that he's trying to bring over.
Yeah. What he was trying to say was, if he thinks that he's not going to win going into it, then he's not going to win.
Okay. Well, as we can see, he's got his mind. What'd you say? He has his mind not lost.
His mind is not lost.
Mind is not
so
lost.
his body is not lost.
Awesome.
So he will. We'll see if he'll win or not.
All right. The lineups are pretty fair. No one has a clear advantage. The greed lock, can beat anything. It's crazy. But actually, I think I'd rather be koroneko with the rogue. Just clean up the greed. You'd punish the greediness of the warlock with rogue. You just oil flurry, kill him before all the creatures come down.
Yeah. Lifecoach, one of the reasons why he thinks that he's so successful right now in Hearthstone is because he understands Conquest and because he really likes Conquest. I talked to every single player about the format and what their thoughts on it. And most of the players gave me a pretty long answer saying, oh, well, I think it's good, but it has its flaws. I think I still haven't delved into it as much yet. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Lifecoach just gave me one word. He said perfect. He said it's perfect. So if he thinks that Conquest is perfect, then that really tells a lot to his sort of success as a player right now in 2015, because he's won so many things.
Way more than anyone else, basically.
Yeah. He was first in the Kingwood for Charity, second in the Pinnacle 2, First in the Root Invitational, second in Heroes of Cards #1, and he made it top 8 at Katowice.
Yeah, just a sick run. If you looked at like the Gosu Gamer thing for his page, it's just a skyrocket up, just
Yeah.
all wins.
Hyped is actually planning on overtaking Lifecoach. Hyped is currently ranked number 19. Number 19.
Getting there.
Top 20.
Yep.
With many plans to overtake Lifecoach as soon as he possibly can.
Yeah, I think he's in my group for Kingwin, so I might play him soon. And I'm almost at I'm like top 3 in the group. He's #1. I'm like 3.
Okay.
I'll play him soon.
Okay. Well, I wish you good luck in that. You're here today because you're trying to get scouting info
just scouting
on all of these players. I was also talking to koroneko, and he was so excited about playing. I was asking him all about his Hearthstone, and he talked to me a little bit about his life too. He said he really likes gummy candy.
Awesome. Maybe he'll be snacking mid-game like Limmy Jux.
Yeah. At first I thought he was joking because he just randomly said that he likes gummy candy, but
he just had to tell you.
He just had to tell me.
Maybe it'll come up somehow.
Maybe it'll come up. Maybe he's going to use gummy candy as like a prop. Maybe gummy candy is some sort of like reference or innuendo that just completely went over my head.
He's just messing with you.
He's just completely messing with me. But we'll have to see. Opening hands.
Black Knight is good to see, but it's pretty standard in Paladin. It was taken out for a little bit, but everyone's putting it back in now. Pretty solid. Keeps the juggler, I guess, ping off the other guy's hero power.
Yeah.
Okay, Lifecoach's hand is not exciting, but he's got the True Silver to get him to late game, maybe. Although that Peacekeeper, what are the best Peacekeeper targets for Paladin? There's not much, right?
No, there's not a lot. Usually Peacekeeper uses it as like a tempo play, or you use it because Paladin runs a lot of like tech cards like Black Knight or like Harrison Jones. A lot of times I find myself using it on like after I fall behind, but from a tech card like a Black Knight play or a Harrison play.
Okay.
Using it to try and like gain back control. But I feel like playing this matchup more conservatively is usually the way to go.
Well, speaking of conservative, koroneko just coins out the Knife Juggler. Super vulnerable to the mini bot, but if they don't have it, which he doesn't.
It's super vulnerable to a lot of things. I feel like whenever I play early Knife Juggler, my opponent just hero powers in the Paladin versus Paladin matchup until like they get a Consecrate play.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, the player that plays it safer and conservative in the Paladin versus Paladin matchup, I feel comes out on top because all of a sudden you play Knife Juggler into Mustafa Battle or something to try and get big play, and then Consecrate just completely wrecks your board.
Yeah, we see Lifecoach has the double Consecrate, but if you were koroneko, looking at koroneko's hand, would you just be like, all right, I'm just going to play aggressive because that's what my hand is telling me to do?
Yeah.
Got the Lotheb too, but the Consecrate's going to come down before the Lotheb most likely.
Unless you get really greedy with the Consecrate, but I can't imagine he would because he has 2.
Yeah, they kind of get clunky, right?
So at this stage, I might just hero power.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, Mustard's not going to do much. Maybe if he missed the dagger, he could have, mustered and hit with the token, but since he missed, I see hero power coming down.
You're not going to avoid really any damage unless you Peacekeeper here, which I would see as the only other play. Because if you muster for battle here, you're not going to be able to take out one of the Knife Jugglers, so you're still going to be taking... You'll avoid damage from Juggles. Like if you muster for battles, you'll avoid face damage from Juggles. Yeah. But you'd be effectively wasting your muster because with 2 Juggles every single Silverhand recruit, he's almost certainly going to clear your board. So I would be very inclined just to hero power.
Yeah, so what can koroneko even do? What is Lifecoach thinking about that is going to happen on 3 that's not going to make Consecrate happen on 4? Pretty much nothing, right?
Nothing.
But maybe he doesn't want to telegraph the Consecrate. He's like, oh, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
Maybe he's going to Consecrate, but he wants a little something on the board, a little Lice Justice.
Yeah. This will help him avoid some face damage. It'll also make it so koroneko could be a little bit more likely to flood the board.
Yeah, so it's like kind of baiting out even a bigger Consecrate.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's like a lot of value just from the daggers. Even if his board gets cleared, like 3 daggers.
Just sniping headshots. Headshots. So clean, so crisp, so clean.
Oh man, Lifecoach is getting low. He's got 4 heal. This his Lotheb's gonna smack him in the face for sure. Oh no, he's got the Aldor. Okay.
Yeah.
Aldor is like one of the best in the game counters to Lotheb. Like when you play Lotheb, you want to get that 5 and like
Yeah.
Aldor.
Yeah, it's very true. Does have land hands as well, so that's probably one of the reasons why he played Muster for Battle.
Okay.
It's
cool.
just because, I mean, imagine if he didn't have it, he would have taken 3 more damage. He would have been at 14 health.
Yeah.
So that's actually a pretty big deal. But now, he's sitting okay.
It's like you said, you don't really want to be the aggressor in the Paladin versus Paladin, but let me I mean, Koroneko's hand is like, it's perfect. You got the Death Rattle creatures, the Lotheb.
Yeah. Sludge Belcher.
Not as amazing as it usually is because that Light's Justice, but still great.
It's still, yeah. Otherwise, it'd be sort of the natural aggressor to the Paladin Shredder.
Yeah, plus you want to, you know, when you can throw down you're a little afraid of Black Knight sometimes, so you want to get the Sludge Belcher down before it gets Black Knighted immediately.
So this is a little bit of a tougher situation. Harrison Jones on a 1 durability Light's Justice. Not the best target, considering there's so many more. He hasn't seen either True Silver Champion. Second Muster for Battle, you can end up drawing usually 3 cards from that. Even the Ashburn.
This is one of the matchups, like some matchups you want to save the Lotheb for like a big power play. Sometimes you throw it down immediately to get immediate value, but I think in Paladin, you're not really expecting spells from your opponent on turn 6. So I think he's going to save the Lotheb, especially because it's vulnerable to the Aldor, which he does. Yeah. Okay, I'm wrong. He's just playing on curve.
Okay.
I wouldn't have been surprised to see the off-curve Shredder there. I think it would have been great, actually.
Yeah.
Because this is when, I mean, if you could block the Equality Consecrate on a huge turn, or even just, you know, if you block the Lay on Hands turn, you just throw it down, and the other Paladin's like, man, Hero Power, pass it back. It's huge. Okay, so Lifecoach super desperate. He knows. Okay, no. Let's see.
This is actually.
Yeah, no, it's super desperate. He knows the Sylvanas is only going to steal the Armorsmith, but maybe he's thinking, if I wait too long and it gets owled, I'll just lose. So I just need to get a little something.
Yeah.
Catch up a little bit, and I'll be good. As long as I don't die here, I have some pretty good late game. Equality Consecrate, Lay on Hands, True Silver, and the Aldor will help stall as well. So he's like, all right, I got late game. Don't need to be too greedy with the Sylvanas. So you get tempo back.
Armorsmith could actually be a pretty good pickup if he decides to steal it, which most likely will be the case.
Though. We'll just eat it.
Yeah. But it could give him some much needed health. Also, it's really great at killing tokens because you're not wasting any damage. Yeah. And tokens usually something you want to keep clear a lot of times in this matchup for Quartermaster swing plays.
Yeah, I wonder if I don't know, Lifecoach is like a 2 Quartermaster guy, and Koroneko, I don't know anything about it either. I've been seeing it a lot more though now.
Yeah.
Double.
I think Lifecoach usually runs. He's pretty greedy with his decks as well. He runs a lot of bigger threats. The last list I saw from him when he was playing Paladin, he was only running 1 Quartermaster, I believe.
Yeah,
but
just
of
to
course,
make room for those more greedy guys.
Yeah, it could be smarter to change up your decks quite often. Because I mean, Lifecoach, a lot of his matches that he's played over the past week or 2 have been public. So maybe like switching up his decks between tournaments could be a good strategic play coming into new events. Throwing in that second Quartermaster just to throw everybody off.
Now he does have the option to get maybe a little greedy with Sylvanas if he wants to. He can kill it off now, or can get greedy. So he has like maybe an Aldor True. Well, does the True Silver do anything? Yeah, you could put it on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little bit of a rough turn. I mean, I like the Aldor play better here than stealing.
Yeah.
Because next turn he can play like Tyrion, because he knows that. Well, he doesn't know that if there was an owl played, it might have been played on the Sylvanas, but Sylvanas is a pretty good target for it.
Yeah, just double up on your silence targets. You can silence one, but can't silence both.
And so he knows that next turn he's going to have a pretty powerful play, and he'll be able to deal with whatever koroneko decides to follow it up with his Sylvanas, because it won't be dead.
He's probably going to Aldor the Lotheb, and then he kills the Loth. Oh, so it's a Consecrate play?
Huh. Yeah, actually, this is a pretty decent.
Yeah, you'd think he'd want to hold on to that Consecrate with the quality, but maybe he thinks he can't afford to. And I mean, this is great board.
Yeah, for sure.
Lifecoach wanted the heal bot, not koroneko.
Yeah, that's true. Well, now Koroniko's in a rough spot because his only real play here is just to throw down the Paladin Shredder and Hero Power, throwing down Anti-Heal Bot and Hero Power.
Yeah.
Consecrate's not going to have much effect at all.
Yeah, Paladin Shredder, he's going to get, the Sylvanas is going to go off before the Paladin Shredder, so the Sylvanas will steal the token if it wants, but it won't steal what comes out of the Shredder, which is nice. You get something on the board, but yeah, he's actually in a really bad spot. If he can somehow Harrison the Tyrion, it's not possible, though. It would take 2 turns.
Yeah.
But he has 2 turns with the heal bot.
Yeah. And 3 armor.
Oh, yeah.
Love that armor.
It's your warrior play at heart, but any other class, when you get the armor, you're just happy too.
Yeah, yeah. I put Ice Barrier in every single mage deck that I play.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright, so he's not going to go, he has to save the Consecrate.
Yeah.
It's weird, Lifecoach, he's like, this Consecrate card, it's super clunk in the match, just get rid of it. Right?
Yeah.
Even with the equality, that's a little weird, but it paid off. That board is like really scary.
Yeah, it's scary, but I mean, he's got blood in his eyes here. He's at 9 health. Lifecoach is sitting at, and he does have land hands for a way to heal. But I think this is probably as good a turn as ever to throw down the Tyrion.
Yeah, Tyrion's a little weak. It's only weak to Black Knight. And he's got the health, so like the weapon maybe isn't too scary.
Yeah.
So he may be worried about Black Knight. He's not worried about the owl, like you said. He's pretty sure there's not an owl in his hand.
Yeah. Because Black Knight plus True Silver, he wouldn't have the mana next turn.
Yeah.
I believe he'll be on 9 mana the following turn.
So he did a lot last turn to kind of protect his Sylvanas, keep it pretty healthy at 3 HP. So I think maybe he's gonna, he saw how much attention that put on koroneko, so maybe he's gonna do it again. So maybe he'll put the Aldor into the Shredder and see how healthy he can keep his Sylvanas with the True Silver help.
Yeah, if he can clear as much of the board as possible here, throw down his own Tyrion, then whatever koroneko plays next turn, he'll have the Sylvanas to steal it. So it eliminates a play for koroneko to play something big on the board because it'll just get stolen by Sylvanas. But he decides to leave the Paladin Shredder up.
Yeah.
His Tyrion's still healthy, though.
He's going to let that token kill the shield. Doesn't care. He's going for the 5 Sylvanas damage and keeping the Sylvanas out of Consecrate range, which I think he would have thought that koroneko didn't have from the last play. But doesn't matter. He's not going to take the risk.
Yeah. Well, he's 1 mana off a pretty large swing play, being he could kill off the Tyrion and Harrison Jones in the same turn. But that would cost him 9 mana because he would need the Consecrate and then the Harrison. So
if he gets a spell power, then he can Consecrate. That'd be sick.
That would be.
He trades both into the Tyrion. He gets a spell power Consecrate. That'd be sick.
This is really rough.
He definitely wants to Harrison next turn.
Yeah.
So he's thinking how to set that up. Does he need to heal this turn? Maybe. Does he need to Aldor this turn? Didn't get the spell power. But actually, this is pretty good. So now it's a 5-1 Sylvanas versus the Fairy Dragon. And he could even Aldor it. Probably not.
No. Because whatever he puts on the board right now is just going to get stolen.
That's true, yeah. It's just
So
still hero power, though? Yeah, probably.
I don't know, because then he could steal the Fairy Dragon. I guess it's not too big of a deal.
But he would have just, like, whacked one and then kept this annoying Sylvanas.
Yeah.
Although, again, Lifecoach is like, man, this Sylvanas is so annoying for him. I might just keep it up.
Yeah, yeah.
But he'd have to go for a Knife Juggler snipe, and with 2 Consecrates down, maybe he wants to hold the Knife Juggler for his last equality activator.
I wonder.
Oh no, he could lay on hands Sylvanas. I was like seeing that.
That's
I was
true,
like seeing
yeah.
That. Even at 7 HP, he's like, yeah.
I mean, he probably has the anti-heal bot somewhere. He's got heal from the True Silver Champion, but he can't really use that for a few turns because of Ashbringer. Laying hands on himself here probably is the best course of action, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Well, I don't know. It is Lifecoach.
Yeah.
Pretty quick for him to decide this here.
So with that, he'll probably steal the Fairy Dragon. Goes for the super mind games. He steals the 1/1. like he has Quartermaster. It's like, so I have double Quartermaster.
Yeah. It's basically like putting a taunt on your Silverhand recruit if you steal the Silverhand recruit in this situation.
Yeah.
But that evens things up pretty nicely. I mean, he even has, I'd say, the lead here. He's got card advantage, he's got health advantage, he's got board advantage.
Yeah, koroneko has that. The big game hunter for the Dr. Boom, whenever that comes down, and then of course the Harrison right here is going to be huge. He does have the true silver of the Harrison, which is nice.
Yeah.
So it's like the other guy got 2 cards, but then you kill the Harrison for half a card, so you're never too sad.
Yeah.
Whereas like say you're playing a rogue and the Harrison, your weapon, you're like, I gotta evict too, so it's like I threw away another card.
And Lifecoach has actually been through both consecrations, I believe.
Yeah.
So he can feel pretty confident here about using the Shade of Naxxramas to not play too much into the... not play too much into the consecration here.
Yeah, it seems to be better. I don't think he needs the Aldor.
Yeah. You want to get that Shade out as soon as possible. I mean, it's starting to get to that late game stage where that Shade's probably not going to get that big anyway.
How many daggers can he hit max? You could go for the Knife Juggler Dr. Boom.
Yeah, 3 juggles. You can snipe that Shade.
Yeah, and if you hit the Harrison, that's not bad either.
Yeah, you can trade into that. I'd like that play. Seems to be the best course of action. Other play, he can use True Silver Champion to clear off the Harrison Jones.
Yeah, he could even go face with the True Silver. 2 face hits and then... Oh, I thought he had Consecrate. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Usually it's not too smart to try to burst down a Paladin.
Yeah.
He has the heal bot right there.
Or lay on hand. He just lays on hand next turn, and then you just lose just so much because of the momentum on board, especially since he doesn't really have any more comeback mechanics. He does have a quality. He has 1 more muster for battle in his deck, assuming he's running 2. So he could like a quality Knife Juggler, muster for battle, or something like that. But he really needs to develop his board here.
He's thinking about the equality just for a second.
Oh!
Goes with the...
Oh, he sniped it!
Oh, man. koroneko is not happy. He might be losing his mind right now.
He almost had perfect snipes, because if that last juggle had hit the Harrison Jones, he would have been able to trade in.
Yeah.
Clean the board. Almost perfect juggles. But he does snipe the Shaded Naxxramas. That's a pretty big deal, because otherwise that could have been tough to deal with. It would have just sit there growing.
Yeah, it's actually
waiting.
pretty sick, though, that the Harrison lived, because now he gets to Consecrate. Although he's looking at those bombs.
Wow.
So maybe... Okay, so it'd probably like heal bot, Consecrate, but do you heal bot first to absorb bombs? It's pretty good at 3 HP. You know.
You can potentially absorb 2 bombs there. Which, I mean, you're at 9 health.
Yeah.
Well, he'd be at, of course, 17 health, but...
Oh, he's gonna... Okay, he's gonna... Okay, so he wants... Actually, that's actually pretty good. Lifecoach is at 10 HP. He wants the 5 damage, potentially the body.
Yeah. So he can BGH, then use Consecrate, and BGH, not quite as good of a bomb absorber.
Yeah, I think you gotta Consecrate first, but he can Hero Power. Yeah. Okay, I like this.
Yeah.
And then BGH after the bombs hit.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Oh, he's like, I'm scared though. I'm scared. So with the... He probably is assuming... He saw the 2 Consecrates, but he probably is assuming maybe Lifecoach has a True Silver.
Yeah.
Just like, do I die? Bombs hit me for 5, I'm dead. Didn't take the risk. I like it. He's behind. Maybe he's not behind. I thought he was behind, but after this turn. Awesome.
Well,
Okay.
pretty good bombs. He absorbs 1 with the Hero Power, so that was good sequencing for him to use that first.
Yeah, and at 7, he's not dead to anything. And he's got the heal bot, so he knows. This is actually perfect. This is the most value heal bot can get, is when you can kind of bait your opponents. Like, I'm about to die. Do something stupid.
Yeah.
And then you heal bot. It's like the hidden value of heal bot, like with the Blade Flurry.
True Silver my face.
Yeah.
Come on. This is really rough, because if he True Silvers the Harrison Jones, he'll be at 5. Either way, he's just 1 point off of lethal. There's so many things that koroneko could have next turn. We haven't seen second muster. koroneko, I think... Oh no, he's used both Consecrations. True Silver Champion. There's a lot of things that he could use to finish off the game.
That's actually a pretty good comeback from koroneko. I thought he was behind, but he kept his mind.
Yeah.
He won. Most likely. Almost definitely.
Yeah. So whether or not he True Silvers the face or the Harrison Jones here, there's still 1 point of lethal missing. So you might as well just try and go for the victory with that one. Ooh. he doesn't find lethal, but Healbot, Sludge Belcher.
Yeah, so even if a Black Knight came down, Black Knight, that into that, he's had his life coach come back.
Yeah.
He's used 2 Consecrates. He's got the equality. No activator, really.
He does have Owl.
Oh, okay, that's right. Owl. Hit.
He could just start. He can Owl and just start bursting through with True Silvers, but at the same time, he's at 10 health himself.
Yeah, and there's the heal bot.
Yeah.
So,
He doesn't have much time to buy here.
that's interesting. So koroneko started with the aggressive stance,
Mhm.
and then life coach had the Sylvanas that he protected and put like a lot of attention with the Sylvanas Tyrion. Then it got Harrison, and then koroneko was super behind, but then that Consecrate brought him back.
Mhm.
So it turns out that the Knife Juggler boom, it hit the shade, but maybe it was life coach's downfall because like he lost the tempo with the Consecrate BGH.
Yeah, that's true.
He had some plays with like Knife Juggler, mini bot. He could have equality'd. That was it. He could have equality'd before he did the turn. He decided not to, and that's what lost him the game.
Yeah. Yeah. If that juggle had hit the Harrison Jones instead.
I mean, if he just equality first, he would have hit the Harrison.
Oh,
Most like,
yeah.
actually, he would have missed. Oh, but he could have, traded the thing in. Oh man. So yeah, it looks like life coach is done. So he hits a silence. I don't think life coach plays heal bot, so maybe that would be like his best draw if he were to.
Well,
Let me think.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I meant like 2. I don't.
okay.
think he plays
Okay.
two. No.
I tried
Okay.
to like subtly point out the heal bot in his hand. Okay.
This is a
okay.
little glare. It's the sun in my eyes.
Yeah. The sun from the studio.
Yeah.
We're nerds. We're blinded by the sun.
Like I was too busy thinking about what happened earlier.
He's going to do his best here, and he is going to stay alive, but is he alive? Yeah, he is.
I thought koroneko already won. He's okay. So it's pretty okay. All right, what do you got here?
I mean, there's a chance.
Yeah, it's actually no longer guaranteed victory.
Yeah. In fact, well, no. He just got to try and put as much as possible. I think Dr. Boom probably just be.
Yeah. He's like, man, Dr. Boom's almost always good, but that's how I came back against Life Coach. He played Dr. Boom at the BGH.
Yeah.
But looks like Sylvanas doesn't do anything special here.
Nope.
Probably gonna Quartermaster next turn, so you want to get like 1 token now.
Mm-hmm. And the best way to fit the curve here would either be to Dr. Boom and Aldor, but there's no good Aldor targets, or just Dr. Boom Hero Power, and I think Dr. Boom Hero Power is probably the best way to go here. And then the following turn, I mean, koroniko's at 7 health himself, so the following turn, he's going to leave 2 damage on the board here regardless.
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't. I'm trying to think if Sylvanas does anything. Like, sometimes when you can't deal with the Tyrion, you put the Sylvanas down in case they play the Tyrion.
Uh-huh.
He's ever seen the Tyrion. Sludge Belcher is not going to trade with it, so, like, I can't think of any reason to Sylvanas. So, yeah, he was trying to think of a reason to Sylvanas, I think. That's the obvious. He just wants the body on the board. He saw the double Consecrate. He saw the equality.
Yeah. Wow. Those on the Aldor just to reduce the health by 1.
I like it. It's like we were talking about. That's like a decent Aldor target.
Mhm.
But, there's not too many Aldor targets.
Yeah. He knows his game is going to last longer than like 1 or 2 more turns. And
Yeah.
these are the types of cards that Lifecoach puts in. I think he runs 2 Pilot of Sky Golems in a lot of his
Yeah.
decks.
Maybe Kel'Thuzad.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I was looking at one of his lists the other day, and he was running Kel'Thuzad in Paladin. So he makes a lot of later, greedier choices because he runs Pilot of Sky Golems as well as Sylvanas.
Yeah.
Which sometimes players will substitute one for the other, or like put 1 Pilot of Sky Golem, 1 Sylvanas.
He didn't seem to have like too much defensive early game to make up for it either. Like sometimes when you see a super heavy late game, you'll see something like double chow. Maybe he has.
Yeah.
But that's we didn't see anything else too crazy.
No.
Like the Cog Hammer, it's a pretty defensive card.
Yeah.
Maybe an Argus you see.
I love Coghammer.
Yeah.
Because it can snowball, because plays like the early Knife Juggler plays, you follow that up with like a Coghammer, it can completely ruin
Yeah.
days there.
Plus people don't respect the Paladin's minions. They're like, okay, I don't have to kill that. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And you Cog Hammer it.
Yeah.
Like Cog Hammer on like say a Lothep is huge. That's like a big play you see often.
Yeah. That's true. Did that taunt just save him?
Oh my gosh.
That would have been lethal if he did not get a taunt. That's crazy.
Actually, no. If the bomb only has a hit for 1, so he goes Aldor into the thing.
But what if the bomb hits the Silverhand Recruit?
No,
Then-
he's gonna bomb into the Silverhand Recruit.
Okay.
It's only got to do as long as it doesn't do 1, he wins, right? 10.
No,
Oh,
it's
no, it
got
has
to
to
do.
3. Okay, I'm
It's
sorry.
got to do 3
Oh boy.
because he doesn't have a Silverhand Recruit because he decided to use the Aldor last turn. So I think that if he had no, because it would have been the same amount of damage.
All right,
Here we go.
He's rubbing his hands.
It's got to
doing
hit
a
for
little
3 or 4 damage here for him to win. He rubs his hands. 4! Oh my God, he got it. And Lifecoach throws his
oh man,
head
Life
back.
Coach. You know, he's a poker player. He's not supposed to tilt like that.
Wow. Yeah, you don't usually see emotion from a player like Lifecoach.
Yeah, Koroneko could have even been holding like a consecrate and just like done that for mind games. It would have been like effective mind
Yeah.
games just to.
Yeah. Wow. It was a pretty grueling matchup the whole way through.
Yeah.
Back and forth. You couldn't really tell who was going to win. You said, oh, Koroniko's got it, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden gets a taunt.
The heal bots.
The heal bots, yeah.
Both heal bots, like totally.
Yeah.
Wow.
And talking to Koroniko, he said Lifecoach is one of his favorite players, watching him play tournaments because he always keeps a level head. He doesn't let RNG affect him, but a rare show of emotion from Lifecoach after that game.
Yeah,
and pretty
super
grueling.
too. Like when you hit a Paladin in the first match of the Conquest,
Yeah.
to lose the first match when it's super grindy.
Yeah. And mirror matchup, like you said, that probably feels the worst out of any because I'm sure that he was expecting to have a better start than that. But Koroniko, I mean, this guy, I talked about a little bit earlier, he beat a lot of big names coming in. He wasn't the first seed coming from the Challenger Cup, but he beat Zixo on the way up, who's known as like a weekly tournament
Yeah,
god or the ladder
he
champion.
definitely understands the kind of open bracket
Yeah.
format.
Yeah, lots of games in a row, winning lots of games in a row. He also beat Luffy, who is also a player that plays in a lot of tournaments. He plays in ESL all the time.
He's like
Um,
number 2
Yeah,
ESL for the first whatever you call
yeah,
it.
yeah. For before we had the whole legendary series type thing back in like the King of the Hill days.
Yeah, and maybe Lifecoach really wanted that Paladin versus Paladin win because now his Paladin kind of has to win against Koroneko's Druid, which it's a good matchup, but you know it's not going to beat the Rogue.
Yeah.
Although if I were to pick a Paladin deck that can beat Rogue, you do want a lot of threats like the Sky Golem because you know one of the ways to beat Rogue is just to curve really strong Lotheb into a 6-drop, and Sylvanas isn't like the greatest against Rogue when you're ahead. So you just drop the Sky Golem, it's pretty good.
Yeah, just pressure them really, really fast. Not allow them to sort of and being conservative with some of your cards as well. Like the right cards, like you don't want to play into like huge blade flurries. You want to try to make it as difficult as possible for them to clear the board.
Yeah, and with the heal bot, you'd actually be surprised. Sometimes you can kind of like exhaust the Rogue if they have like a poor draw. You
Mhm.
can just kill all their stuff. If they don't draw in a sprint, drop the heal bot, you can win.
So Koroniko does go with the Rogue, and Lifecoach actually decides to switch it up.
Yeah, it's interesting because usually in Conquest, you start with your weakest deck. If it loses, you keep trying to get wins
Just
with the
truck
weakest deck.
through,
But
truck
we are
on
seeing
through.
a lot of switches, and he definitely understands Conquest format. He's been doing great, and he loves it. So he's gonna go with the. He probably was expecting the Koroneko to go Rogue.
Yeah.
Didn't want to throw his Paladin into it.
So Druid versus Rogue. This is a matchup. We talked about this a little bit before the broadcast, I think. And you did the Tempo Storm meta report.
Yes, Druid versus Rogue. Yes, you know it's pretty fair matchup, but I do give the overall odds to the Druid just because so often the Druid can do something really stupid with Innervate, and
Yeah.
those like it's an even matchup, but then those few Innervate games really just mess with just throw it in the Druid's favor because like prep, you know it's arguably slightly better than Innervate, but it's more reactive.
Mhm.
So if you have Innervate with Druid, you can do it on your spells, or you can do it on your creatures. So the Druid innervates at a creature. The Rogue can respond with prep, and it'll be in a great spot, but he has to have the prep, whereas the Druid just has to have the innervate. It's in a great spot.
Yeah. Just Druid doing Druid things.
Yeah.
Is basically what it comes down to.
But if we see anything different in the Druid deck, like GC2 Turth had the Ramp Druid, that'd be super weak to Rogue. Some Druids, it's actually very common for Druids to only run one Force, which actually hurts it a little bit in the
Yeah.
Rogue matchup. And the Rogue matchup's one of the ones where you just want the double combo.
Yeah.
Just charge face, Druid of the Claw, kill
Just
him.
Pressure really hard, burst him down as quick as you can possibly get it. Sap doesn't hurt you quite as much as
Yeah.
it does when you're playing when you're playing mid-range Druid as opposed to the heavy ramp. Because getting an Ancient of War sapped is like the worst feeling you could possibly get.
Yeah, and Lifecoach is a player that I wouldn't be surprised to tech in a 1 Ancient of War, which I think is like can be very strong in tournaments.
Yeah.
And then Black Knight's coming back, which also hurts Druid versus Rogue. So
Yeah.
maybe, depending on this deck, I might actually, shift the favorite to Rogue. If there's any like weaknesses in the Druid deck, or any changes, I'm gonna have to give it to Rogue. So Rag is decent against Rogue. It's neither good nor bad, but it's a little slow.
Yeah.
But it's unsappable, which is great. But without the Wild Growth, I'd actually say it would be a bad card against Rogue without Wild Growth.
Yeah. So Sap. Do you keep Sap in your opening hand as a Rogue against Druid?
Prep Sap is amazing, but without a creature, it's a little useless. But he keeps the Abyss. It's interesting. Like if I had a Violet Teacher, then I would keep Prep Sap for sure. But when you're going first, you only have the 3 cards. You really need a creature. He's got the Black Knight, so this is a different. He's got Black Knight and Antique Healbot. I was playing a deck similar to this. I hope maybe it's my deck. Probably not. I have a Kel'Thuzad deck that's like this. But anyways, the Black Knight is already. I'm gonna shift the favor to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say he's favorite because I already think Rogue is only a slight disfavorite to Druid. But with the Black Knight, I'm gonna say that puts him over the edge. His favorite now to win the match. Lifecoach didn't get a Wild Growth, so that's another thing I should mention. If the Druid doesn't get a Wild Growth, the Rogue is immediately favorite. Druid pretty much needs Wild Growth to win. It can win without Wild Growth, but it's definitely going to be an uphill battle for the Druid without Wild Growth.
Yeah.
He has the double combo, though, which is nice. It's nice in the deck, but it's not nice in your hand right now. This is why people don't run 2/4s, because this can happen.
Yeah. Just increases the chances that you get a really clunky hand.
Yeah, this is just how you lose the Druid, is you draw 2/4s, really. We can see, like, if you look at Koroneko's hand, he's got, like, 2 3/3s and a 4/5. The force is not going to kill any of those.
Yeah. He's got a lot of ways to deal with whatever can be thrown out here.
I'm not crazy, but he's got the backstab. You can just hold on to the thing. Okay. So this is Lifecoach's turn 3. So he wants to interrupt maybe a coin shredder. He's like, all right, go ahead and wrap this. As long as you don't coin shred, I'm happy. He's probably a little sad to see this.
Yeah.
Another thing that could be going to this is maybe he sees his hand as like a little bit reactive. Maybe he thinks he's going to need to oil, not for the kill. Usually you save oil, but sometimes you can do oil as like a tempo play. It's like a death bite kind of.
Yeah. Especially if you have like 2 in your hand, you can be a little bit liberal with the first, and then use the second one as sort of that big burst or swing play.
Yeah, I actually really dislike that. When you got back to SA7, you just save it.
Yeah, yeah.
You hit something from the Druid.
Because you're effectively wasting that 2 damage, and the Druid had a pretty slow start, so that would have given him an opportunity to just like wrath it down.
Yeah, and in those mid turns, like 6, 7, 8 mana, when you make a big play and you also like SI7 something, that's like how Druid loses. So
Yeah.
like, and he had the SI7. Oh.
It's the icing on the cake.
Yeah. Okay, Lifecoach. No Wild Growth. This is why, yeah. This is why Druid, like, it feels like both sides hate this matchup.
Yeah. So if you play the Shade here, you're susceptible to like a Blade Flurry play or
it's a pretty decent turn 5 Deadly Flurry.
Yeah.
Pretty common. Only the 3/3 lives. Like usually you'd be afraid of them developing more, or maybe like oil flurrying. So you don't have to worry about that. The other play is just a swipe, which I'm actually not too upset about seeing a swipe here. I don't mind it. You're worried about the Azure Drake coming down, but you might be able to say, hey, if he has Azure Drake, I might lose anyways. Or you might say, hey, I need targets I'm gonna Force Nature next turn, maybe with coin. And at least I can Force Nature the Azure Drake.
Does him using 1 charge of the dagger say anything? Does it mess with any turn 5 plays by like having to re-dagger for like a deadly poison play?
It actually does. So see, daggered face. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of telegraphing that he doesn't have a turn 5, or maybe he wanted to say, maybe make him think I don't have turn 5. Like sometimes when I play Rogue, it is like optimal maybe to hit the dagger, but maybe you hold it just like to tell your opponent, hey, I got oil.
Careful
or
now.
You kind of bluff the oil.
Careful now, buddy.
Yeah, so actually don't let. Oh man, Koroneko letting me down, but maybe I'm not seeing it. I didn't like the SI7 or the dagger hit. But the SI7 hit twice already, 3 times if you want. So it's actually, I'd say it paid off.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, if he loses.
It could have been punished pretty easily, and it could have opened up plays for him to make, stronger plays for him to make later on.
Yeah.
But I actually kind of would have liked to see the second Shade from Lifecoach.
Yeah, I think, I don't, it's kind of a weird keeper play, but he obviously put a lot of thought into it, so I like that. It's like not an obvious play. Like,
of course, he put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah. But I like that it's not an obvious play, and he went with it.
Yeah.
And the 2/4, he sees one as, like, the only thing you're worried about with, you don't really care if your keeper gets Evised, but if it gets backstab SI7, you're a little unhappy, but he saw one SI7. This is an okay play. Imagine if that was a Earthen Ring, though. He could have Earthen Ring the SI7, then Evist. That would be a sick turn.
Yeah.
But you know, that Healbot's, it's clunky against Druid. Just get it down, play the 5 mana now.
Yeah. Also, the Keeper of the Grove, sometimes you can, like, not bait out spells, but eat spells that would have gone to
Yeah, it's only
other
a 2/4.
higher priority
You
targets.
don't really care.
Yeah. Like, if Keeper of the Grove eats an Abyss, you're happy. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, cool. You just Keeper of the Grove, or Abyss my Keeper of the Grove. Now you won't have that later for burst damage or to deal with some of my bigger threats.
Definitely. So we saw that Koroneko kept the Abyss too. It hasn't been used yet. It's actually not going to get used ever looking at Lifecoach's hand.
Just never.
If he gets a spell power, he could backstab Abyss the Ragnaros.
Mhm.
Oh man, Lifecoach. This is against Rogue. You just want creatures. You don't want spells.
Just want to rag here.
Yes. Yes. Does he? Maybe he's thinking about whether he wants to trade that or not. You get the 8 damage to face. Your trade is at 1, so maybe he has to dagger it. So it's like kind of like 12 damage to face. He doesn't have the roar. When you have roar, that's when you're like saving your trade. Like, all right, I'm definitely gonna roar this. So I don't need to use it now. So does he trade? I think you do to protect the. Oh, okay, he doesn't. It's like one of the few times I wouldn't be too sad about evissing a rag. Usually you want to sap it or just ignore it as a rogue. Maybe make some teacher develop a board, but it's actually decent. Okay, well, knowing Lifecoach's hand that it's all spells, then we can see that it's a really great play to evis the rag. But usually when you're playing rogue, you're like, oh man, if I throw 8 damage of spells into this thing, how am I going to kill his other creatures?
Yeah.
So he's not going to develop the Black Knight, so you may as well start with okay.
So
Let's see if there's an oil play here. I don't think there is though.
you can.
He'd have to hit a Evis, and then I don't think there's an oil play here. So maybe he's just thinking about his like draws with fan. If he needs to prep the fan to look for a 5-drop.
And if you prep the fan, do you backstab the rag first?
Let's see. If you prep the fan, I guess he was doing the math. I should have been doing it already. All right, so it's at 5 HP. So you don't. I think he could have prepped the fan, and then if he got a 4-drop, he could have 4-drop Evist.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't need the backstab.
Because it would have been able to just trade the. Now this is kind of an awkward spot because if he prep fans, then oh wow.
Okay, saving the prep, fine. Oh, trading. Okay.
Okay.
Decent play. Now he's threatening the. He's actually kind of. He's like sneakily threatening the flurry because he has the fan. The Lifecoach doesn't know it, but he only has 1 turn to pick up the fan, and it's going to grow out of range.
Yeah. Probably just shitter your power up.
Yeah, it's interesting because you see that weapon on, you're like, all right, probably has flurry, so do I want to reveal it or not? It's like 1 HP out of range. You get spell power flurried or fan flurried in this case.
I think you put on the pressure now because something from that power to shatter is most likely going to stick.
Yeah.
He has double force
Do you
in
say
nature.
attack with the shade?
Yeah, attack with the shade.
Yeah, I think so
reveal
too.
it now. Yeah. Because you're starting to get to that point where you could start pushing in for lots of damage.
Yeah, he's got with the force of nature swipe, that's 10, and then another 6 for force of nature, 16. Plus the hero powers, 17. But it takes him 3 turns to do all that. But he has enough damage, and you saw the heal bot.
Yep.
So all he's worried about if he wanted to go face is maybe like a Belcher, which some rogues play. Oh, yeah, so I say go face for sure. You're not even holding a Savage Aura.
Yeah. Whoa. I think he held it back.
Okay.
It could just be spectator. Oh, no,
Okay.
okay. Yeah. Just the spectator client delay. I think he sort of has to prep sprint here.
Yeah, prep sprint.
He could draw into Blade Flurry.
Actually, you could do a backstab fan Evis.
Oh, okay, yeah. See what comes out. Yeah.
Clears. Yeah, and if he preps this sprint, he couldn't afford it. So he's got a fan this turn. Doesn't prep the fan, which is fine. Oh man, this is why I don't like keeping Evis without a creature. As you can see, Koroneko had no creatures in that SI7. SI7, I like to think of it more of like as a removal spell when you have backstab.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a little bomb lobber. You don't really expect the 3/3 to do much.
Yep.
Ship's Cannon. So does Lifecoach play There's like no pirate that's ever good in Druid. Like the South Sea's bad.
I don't even know.
The green skin's bad. There's the taunt.
Everything is weapon based.
Yeah.
Like Dread Corsair is weapon.
Yeah, the
South Sea
Dread
deck
Corsair,
weapon.
Yeah, and the Blood Sail is also weapon.
Yeah, everything's weapons.
no
Captain
pirate.
Greenskin weapon. You ain't got cards. Ooh. He thought about sapping it just to keep himself out of combo range, I guess.
He definitely doesn't want to hit it because he's like behind. He has to threaten the flurry even though he doesn't have it.
Wow. Dr. Boom off the top, right on curve.
Oh man. All right, so
And
he's
that's
gotta
really
look for the. I guess technically he has one more turn to find the if he wants to sap it, but that'll be 4 bombs already.
Yeah. Those bombs can do lots of damage in themselves, and there's still tokens on the board, so if he draws into Saboteur, it just makes that a stronger play.
Yeah, honestly, I think he's already lost. If there's a Dr. Boom and you don't already have like a teacher on the board,
Yeah.
you're in a really bad spot. So you can kill with the Flurry Vis. Oh man, Koroneko's really sad that that Black Knight didn't hit against a Druid.
Yeah. He didn't keep that in his opening hand. He got that off of once he threw away his cards.
You know
Off his mulligan.
Yeah, it's actually that Black Knight's actually amazing tech if you look at Lifecoach's lineup. Warlock, which we know is going to be handlock type thing, Paladin, and Druid. So it's great versus all 3 classes. So it's probably going to save it. I mean, not reveal it if he doesn't have to.
Yeah. He got double 1s. So that's the best outcome he could hope for. Regardless, he's still in combo range. But, I mean, if both those hit for 4, he would be dead this turn because he'd be at 6 health, and just Force of Nature would kill him.
Super awkward hand. So if you want to play the Shade, then you kind of have to swipe face.
Yeah.
So the other alternative is to Force Nature face. So I don't know. Something about Shade Hero Power seems wrong.
I think Force of Nature face and then Hero Power, because then you set it yourself up for just Force of Nature Hero Power next turn.
Yeah, he's got the Loatheb though.
Yeah.
That is like one of the things you're worried about when you like throw spells at face and then they Loatheb. So
Yeah.
So I
very
think he's
true.
gonna play the Shade, but whether or not he swipes face.
Well, I mean, you would think that if he does have Loatheb, it's coming down next turn regardless.
Okay, so he's
So I
gonna go
think
for
that you
Force
want to put in
Nature.
the damage while you can.
Actually, now though, so Loatheb comes down and it gets oiled the following turn. That's 8 plus the weapon will
Wow.
be 6. That's 14 damage. All he needs is an Abyss. I mean, he's probably gonna Hero Power, so he's like 1 damage off.
Yeah.
So if he can Loatheb plus creature, just like even an Earthen Ring, SI7 number 2 Edwin, then he can easily win.
He has Sap as well, and Black Knight, so he can deal with anything that like gets in the way of just him being able to do face damage. Did you think about cycling here?
I don't mind that, but he's got to, he might need to Force Nature's Wrath next turn.
Yeah. Barely gets in the auto attack though.
Okay, wait, so he can't afford the swipe Hero Power with Loatheb, unfortunately. We gotta see a Loatheb. So, if Koroneko picks up the Flurry next turn, he could do it. I think that's 8. Yeah, Flurry is his top deck. Evis is probably not going to do it. Probably don't swing with this. You can put it on. A little bit risky, a little hard to combo that Sharp Sword
Yeah,
on
that's
next
what I
turn.
was going to say. I think you need that Deadly Poison to sort of combo it out, because if he doesn't play a creature at all here, then you don't have anything to sap.
Yeah, that Shade's not sappable.
If you had to play like the Azure Drake, he wouldn't have enough mana to play everything that would even allow him to win if he drew into everything he needed. Would it even be possible if he had oil? See, he has 8 right now. It'd be plus 6, 14, plus the...
You can like Azure
Yeah,
Drake
he
into a
would.
prep maybe, if he does like pick.
I think the oil plus Blade Flurry would be...
Yeah, but I mean, you can't really
exacties.
expect your second Flurry out the top.
A Shade.
So Azure Drake into Fan is like what he wants. So he has 8 plus 6 is 14. Jay is way off, so without the Flurry was the only thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's fine that he put it on. That's exactly what he wanted. He's still dead, but that's exactly
Yeah.
what you want. There's nothing for 2 mana. A taunt wouldn't save him.
Did you put Shades in your deck, you said? Because he's
I
got
tried
2
Shade.
Shades plus Black Knight.
I think it was a call. He's like, I'm playing Lifecoach. He's gonna play slow decks. I'm not like one of my fears when I play Shade is it just dies the Blast Mage.
Yeah.
But if you don't expect, although the Lifecoach did play Mech Mage recently, I believe. But yeah.
All right, well, Lifecoach is going to tie up the series here 1-1. He does manage to find a victory with that Druid, despite having
No
a
wild
pretty
growth.
weak early hand. No wild growth.
The innervate turn was a little weak. It was a rag, which is strong, but it didn't hit what he wanted.
Yeah.
He did phase. Maybe he did want that.
The innervate rag play can be weak sometimes against Rogue because if it gets sapped, then
Yeah.
you can't instantly replay it. You just basically wasted. Well, not wasted because you're still doing 8 damage.
Yeah.
Which having an immediate impact card like that is the most you can hope for with an innervate play against Rogue.
Yeah. But usually the Rogue will just like play 2 creatures. They're like Via Teacher Sap. And that's
Yeah.
But they both had pretty bad hands. The koroneko, he kept the Evis. It hurt him.
It really did. And you were pained by a lot of the plays that you saw him make with that Rogue.
Just a little bit.
As the Rogue master yourself, keeping me out of Legend multiple times with Rogue.
You played Paladin, it's your fault.
I'll never forgive you. Never forgive you. 3 times in a row. 3 times in the span of 1 hour.
I'm sorry.
That guy hyped 3D.
I can lose or else
on
you
the
would've
North
talked about it in
American
the
ladders.
cast. Yeah.
I'm gonna snipe you from now on.
Uh-oh.
Just gonna wait till you queue up and then just know that you're playing Rogue and just queue a counter deck.
Something like Rogue with Loatheb Shadow Step. Pretty good.
Oh, geez.
Some pandas in there too.
Yep.
Just a Loatheb.
Just bring back my Loatheb, lock you out of spells for every single turn.
Yeah, if we see that the Raynad's Flood Mage, it has the potential to echo Loatheb. Gara recently beat a Freeze Mage with that mage that would normally have trouble, but he echoed a Loatheb.
Yeah.
That's how you win. It's great against Rogue too. Okay, so going with the Greed lock, I'm assuming it's going to be a very slow hand lock. He played Rag in his Rag is a card that some people put into a greedy hand lock because your giants are going to get BGH and then your Rag will stick. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Rag in there. But I mean, with all the demons, maybe you can't fit it these days.
Yeah. Now Druid, this is, I'm not sure what type of Druid this would be from koroneko. He likes to play heavy ramp as well. At least from talking to him, he said he plays. He said his favorite card is Stampeding Kodo, and he likes to play really heavy control decks. Is what he was talking about. So he said he won. I can't remember what it was. An open tournament a while ago, and he said he won because of Stampeding Kodo, and since then it's been his favorite card.
Nice.
I don't think he can really play it anymore. I mean, Shades. It's good against Shades.
You can make an argument like maybe versus like Mech Warpers, it kills Mech Warpers.
The coin innervate Stampeding Kodo to kill a Mech Warper.
Yeah, and it's decent. Like if they have a mirror entity, at least they don't get the battle cry.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's good to see that it looks like it's not a heavy ramp Druid, which really would have struggled against a hand lock. So this is let's see if there's any demons, because there is the mountains. Sometimes the demon hand locks don't run mountain giants. But I wouldn't be surprised to see demons come out here.
I think this is a really good opening hand for koroneko. He's got the BGHs for giants. He's got Keeper the Groves for the Twilight Drake. So really any early threat that Lifecoach is going to throw out, koroneko has a really reasonable answer to.
Yeah, no wild growth, but that's okay because he's going to get the... so usually when you're killing all the giants, you want to play creatures, because those are weak creatures. The BGH and the Keeper, like if you have a Shredder on the board and then you BGH, you just win the game. Yeah. But he's only got the Shade, which is, it's middle of the road. It's going to grow. It's decent. If Lifecoach doesn't pick an AoE up in time, it's just going to constantly be threatening, like Savage or Lethal.
Once upon a time, this was a matchup that we saw quite often because Handlocks and Ramp Druids are 2 classes that have stood the test of time.
Yeah.
People used to say that, Ramp Druid doesn't really have, or Mid-Range Druid doesn't really have much of a chance, or Ramp Druid doesn't, because they don't have ways to deal with those big threats. They don't have like direct removal spells. But now, since people started running like double combo or 2 pieces of combos, sometimes they can just outright burst.
Yeah, there's a time when Druids are running the Haunted Creeper.
Yeah.
Your Haunted Creeper gets popped and you like double Savage Draw on turn 6, you just win.
Yeah.
So he hits the Black Knight. It's good that, so say he played the Drake, he would have had like the Keeper, but the Drake would have still been able to kill it because he couldn't hero power. Okay, so picks up the Hellfire, that's huge. So now koroneko, I would say, is slightly behind him. He didn't pick up Wild Growth, so like the Ancient Allure, it's amazing if you have Wild Growth, but when you play against Handlock and you don't have the Wild Growth, you're like, I can't quite get on the board, it's a little too slow, it's going to get siphoned.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is a Demon Lock, but he didn't pick up any Void Callers. But, koroneko with the Double Keeper. Trying to think if you'd rather, in this situation, them Keeper your... Well, it doesn't matter, he doesn't have the Void Caller.
Yeah.
Alright, so He's feeling a little bit behind on tempos. You usually are against a druid. So he definitely wants to get Dr. Boom out next turn. So he's maybe thinking about what his best turn this turn is. I think Sludge Belcher is fine. It softens up the Loatheb to die to the Dr. Boom. So Sludge Belcher is the obvious play, but maybe they're actually a really strong late game against druid when you're just dodging the combo a little bit each turn, threading a Molten Sludge Belcher.
Because Sludge Belcher doesn't trade very well into a Loatheb.
Yeah, I wasn't even looking at the Dread Infernal. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Dread Infernal trades really well. Dread Infernal just randomly appeared in
Yeah. It was like
in
kind of like you
handlocks.
just want that. Okay, so the handlocks we're doing Void Caller, Jirax's Mal'Ganis, but you know, maybe you want like a one more. So like Era was doing like a Felguard, pretty sick. You know, just a little taunt, give you a little more time. A lot of people are doing. I like Doomguard, like Soundstorm in his more mid-range one favors the Doomguard, which I kind of like. It's like really strong.
The Doomguard, the one problem I had with Doomguard is that outside of being spawned from a Void Caller, it's really hard to play.
Yeah. Whereas this Dread Infernal, you actually have the option to play.
Yeah. It doesn't have as much of an immediate board impact as the Doomguard. But that 1 damage War Wound effect can actually be pretty good because there's a lot of things right now that, like Violet Teacher, like Implosion was a thing.
That's true.
For a little bit. Zoo Warlock isn't as popular, but still people in the Demon Lock, they play the Implosions as well. So
gets the Dr. Boom down.
Red on curve as well. That's really good.
So Koroneko's handy. It's just full of stuff because he didn't have the Wild Growth. He didn't have enough mana to get it all down. It's gonna be kind of like maybe a little bit of a grind for him to like play. He just like wants to use all that stuff.
Yeah. You can make a swipe play here to clear, but then he won't be doing anything as a follow-up play because the only other thing that he has that can fill up his mana curve is Savage Roar. So he'd really just be hero powering, and he wouldn't be building anything from his board because with the swipe, he'd be forced to trade into the Dr. Boom with his Loatheb.
With this much HP, it's like sometimes when I do a swipe in my hand like this, I'm like, yeah, I throw down the Dr. Boom, let the Boom bots hit, then I swipe to clean up. So next play, he could do like a Keeper if there's a Keeper target.
Swipe Keeper.
Swipe Keeper would be sick.
Yeah, I actually do like Dr. Boom, especially, oh man, Swipe Keeper if he plays like a Twilight Drake the following turn. Because a lot of times, handlocks will save the Twilight Drake against Druid because they know it's so susceptible to Keeper the Grove. They'll save it for later on and not play it on curve just because of how big of a swing play that can be.
It looks like we're going to see a Roar here, maybe?
That's okay.
It's okay, but... Okay, no Roar. This is a pretty decent play. And it is going to give him a good swipe next turn as well. Actually, you know, the more I think about it, I really like it because the Dr. Boom is, you know, Handlock can run 1 or 2 big game hunters. And he's got 1 in his hand right now, so it would have been bad. Alright, so we might see, like, the nice thing about Twilight Drake Void Caller is, you know, you can't silence both, even though we see Double Keeper. So he might, but he definitely wants to get that Molten down, the free Molten. Definitely wants to get it down this turn. He can taunt some stuff up. So he could do Sludge Belcher, Molten, and Sun Fury this turn. If he doesn't feel like the need to AoE or anything. Or he could Argus now and save the Sun Fury for a later turn. But that'd be Argus, Molten, not much else.
Yeah. And the one thing is, Druid, that you have to make sure you do is like sort of like dodge that point in the game where a handlock can just build up a big board immediately. Because I mean, if he played like double Molten here and then like taunted it up, plus another threat, it'd be outside of just using Force Nature Savage Roar combo just straight up to clear the board. But it's just so tough to remove.
Yeah, with that Loatheb to the face last turn, he was saying, I don't think you have it, or I don't think you have 2 at least. But that is a big play.
That's scary.
Probably did the Savage Roar math already. Did he do the double combo math?
Wait. Oh, nope. He could double... Oh, no. He'd be off. There's 3 taunts on the board.
Yeah, so Roar... Okay, so Roar swipe. Loatheb goes into the Mountain Giant, swipes. It's not that clean. Okay.
Oh, it's decently clean.
It's decent.
He could Roar, swipe, and like Roar, Loatheb goes into Molten Giant, Powder Shredder goes into Dr. Boom, swipes the Sludge Belcher.
Yeah, and it kills those bombs, which is really tempting. Otherwise, I don't think we're gonna see a full force combo with Innervate. I think the swipe Roar is pretty good. Although, do you Innervate hero power like the Belcher maybe? Seems decent.
It's tough because if those, he would need to trade first, just because of the risk that he would take if one of the bombs hit his one of his creatures and killed it, and then he's going to be taking damage to the face. Oh,
he goes for it. Okay, I really like the swipe, but that's actually fine because now maybe he's thinking his next turn he could swipe plus creature.
Lifecoach's face. He's trying to desperately count if he's like dead or something, but he's got a big enough wall here. There's no risk. This board is going to be in a lot worse off of shape than it was prior.
Okay. I'm surprised. I would have thought we would have seen the swipe, but we'll see if koroneko. I don't think he runs double force with that. Just looking at the rag right there.
Yeah. Harrison Jones as well. Harrison Jones has been pretty popular in Druid for a long time because of the popularity of rogues and paladins, which is the matchup they struggle with.
Yeah.
Even control warriors, it can sometimes be like the nail in the coffin for mid-range druids who already have a good time against warriors. But sometimes adding in those tech cards can mean you have to cut like that second force or that second savage bar.
All right, so Lifecoach probably not gonna taunt, just build up a huge board. He could tap if he wants to get crazy, but there's really no point in playing the Void Caller except to threaten that you have something.
Yeah.
But double Drake, he's definitely gonna get the Belcher down.
Void Caller can be really scary though, as a druid, because he doesn't really have like if Mal'Ganis pops out from that.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a way to deal with it, so you sort of have to ignore that at all times, and he's getting to the point where he's pretty low, so he can't really afford to like leave unanswered damage on the board. But Mal'Ganis would be even worse, so he sort of has to.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna see the Belcher.
Yeah,
Drake.
that makes more sense.
But maybe he's thinking about if he wants to throw bombs into that. He could even Argus Belcher. How much power, how much like stats does Argus add compared to a Drake? I mean, the Drake's got the HP, but you're worried about silence. So actually, Argus is not too bad. On the double bombs, just go face. That's actually pretty good. The more I think about it, got the attacks off.
Yeah.
Okay, he missed it.
He missed 2 damage. Wow. We'll see if that's gonna be consequential at all.
Double swipe is actually insane. That Trog's probably gonna die, unfortunately. Although the thing about handlock as Druid, when you have the combo, you want to be putting creatures on the board as much as possible. If you just take a turn and cast spells, they're just gonna follow up with big creatures, and you're gonna be behind again.
Yeah.
So you really don't want to double swipe if you don't have to. Like Drake swipe would have been so.
Well, I mean,
amazing.
if he double swipes here, there's a chance that he might just be dead the following turn because of bomb damage. I mean, he's at 10 health here. If he double swipes, he wouldn't be able to weave in a hero power.
Yeah. All right, so probably the Dr. Boom or Rag. Probably the Dr. Boom. A little less vulnerable to BGH.
Well, actually, I think he has to double swipe.
Yeah, let's see. He's looking at 5, 6, 7, and that bomb could hit his face. Oh, he could Dr. Boom and then trade in to the bomb. Get some bomb chain reaction going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the double swipe.
Yeah, I think this is actually less risky.
Nice thing about this too is he could Rag hero power face next turn. Oh dang. Oh, actually, if he double swiped face, he could double keeper face the following turn. If there's no heals, that's 12.
Yeah.
He thought about it. I like it. Did he Okay, he didn't rope.
He didn't get the. He could have auto attacked with the Trog and killed off the taunt.
Yeah. Now he's dead to Dark Bomb Hellfire.
It's a tough turn. Both swipes are gone.
Yeah.
But how safe do you feel tapping in this situation? Because if you tap, you can't play Mal'Ganis.
Yeah.
You can try and tap into like a lethal. I think Lifecoach usually only runs 1 Hellfire. I think he's like a double Shadow Flame, single Hellfire kind of guy.
Yeah.
Says a lot about a person.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the double Shadow Flame, but we saw Strifecrow recently did really well with double Hellfire, 1 Shadow Flame.
They're like arch enemies. Lifecoach and Strifecrow.
Oh man.
Double Hellfire, single Shadow Flame versus double Shadow Flame, single Hellfire. The ultimate battle.
And it's weird too, because like Strifecrow like fit Sylvanas into the deck, which makes you really want the double Shadow Flame.
Yeah.
Okay, so he figures this is the safest play. Now he's not dead to Rag. which koroneko probably would have went for if he didn't get anything better.
Yeah. I mean,
Although if he gets a Druid of the Claw, he'll be extremely sad that he missed the taunt. Yeah, okay. No Druid of the Claw. I think he... So it's rag. You have to rag, yeah.
and
Oh,
Sylvanas or Mal'Ganis are buzzed here. Yeah, this has to hit Mal'Ganis or
Yeah.
else he is dead. Holds his breath, pulls the trigger. Oh, it hits
let's see
it.
if Lifecoach reaction.
Wow.
No, Lifecoach isn't.
Okay,
too upset.
okay.
Got the BGH,
Yeah.
but he is super scared. You can only set up 4 taunt or 2 taunts.
Wow, that is rough for life coaching. You could see, again, we saw a little bit of motion in that first game, the Paladin versus Paladin. This one, though, he's in a little bit of a better spot. He doesn't straight up lose the game, but he could be in a rough position because there's a lot of things. Actually, no, because he's been through... We've only seen one force from him in this game.
Yeah, we saw Force, Roar, double swipe.
Okay.
We'll see how greedy he wants to be. Like, okay, so the safest play, BGH, Defender, float 3 mana. But if he wants to be greedy, he could BGH play a creature. But I think it's the same position as earlier, whereas the Defender is like almost as good as playing another creature, and he was less scared of dying before, and he went for it. So he's like super scared of dying now. So I think he'll go for it. Maybe he's like doing the math. So if this hits for 2, the Druid's going to be at 5 HP with the Hero Power next turn. He's got the BGH. He's going to be 1 off if the BGH dies.
Yeah.
He's like thinking of all the odds of like what the other guy can have. That's a big thing with Lifecoach. He likes to always analyze the actual math and the odds because he's a poker player.
I think this is the...
That's exactly what you didn't want on your big game hunter. Koroneko's at 1 HP after he kills it. Oh, he could double keeper this line and Wrath. Then he's at 2 HP if the thing hits face.
Yeah.
And he gets creatures on the board.
That's true.
He's probably thinking he wants to save the Silence to get past taunts, but I mean, that's... Okay. Alright, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
And Life Coach still on a draw to win. He needs Dark Bomb, Suck and Hellfire if he runs it.
Jiraxis. Oh, he can't.
He can't even utilize that.
Oh, he
Mortal
can
Coil.
with Shadow Flame. But he'd probably just want to Shadow... Oh, he can Shadow Flame the...
Well, he can hit and...
Yeah. Does that cost him a...
Whew.
Oh, no, that's not... Okay, no, he can't Mortal Coil. I was doing the math wrong. So he has to Shadow Flame one of his other dudes. You just saw 2 Keeper. I think you want to get a Drake down rather than get the coil out.
Yeah.
He's Drake. Oh, no, but then you have to Shadow Flame. Okay.
I think you tap.
Oh, my God.
What? Because I don't think there's...
Druid of the Claw is all you're thinking about.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the...
Well, because if he... Oh, yeah. So if he taps, he'd put it in range of Druid of the Claw, so...
Yeah, but Koroneko's actually had, like, multiple turns to draw Druid of the Claw.
Yeah.
He was, like, dead to Druid of the Claw, like, 2 turns ago.
Yeah.
Didn't have it.
Yeah. So, I would...
still has, like, a lot of cards left, so you can't really count on anything from that foil.
I think you have to tap here, because you have to put yourself in a position to win.
I don't know, just, like, Drake Shadow Flame.
That's it?
He goes, oh, my gosh.
Tap, yes!
Didn't get it, but he can still Shadow Flame.
Yeah. And now there's a Druid of the Claw for the win here. Either way. Or, no, not even Savage Roar will do it. Needs Druid of the Claw off the top. Wild Growth, he's got another draw as well.
It costs him a... I think he'll go for it and just put the shade down.
Yeah. Because either way, he's just so low at this point. How many cards is his remaining? What is it, like 10 cards?
Yeah, he knows Lifecoach is out of BGH, though, so maybe the Dr. Boon's pretty... This is intense.
I mean, he has 2 Druid of the Claws in his deck.
Yeah.
It's probably close to
Actually,
a 20% chance for him to just draw into lethal right now.
Yeah, Force of Nature, number 2 if he has it. Probably not, though.
That's true as well. I don't think there's anything else.
He goes for it.
He's going to draw for it.
I mean, even if he picks up, you know, he could still shade plus whatever he draws. Okay,
that's
amazing.
That's really good. But
Owl.
I think he still wants to weave in a hero power because he hasn't seen any owls yet. And
That's
most
true.
handlocks or
I think they've been cutting it. They've only doing one. But
oh,
yeah,
one really? Okay.
that's exactly what he's thinking about. Those owl when he does this hero power shade,
Mhm.
respecting the owl.
Yeah.
Going for the hero power.
Either
Let's see
way,
if Lifecoach reacts. He's like a little smirk, little
little head shake, little head shake. I'm a big fan of just the head shake here. Wow.
What can you do? Nothing. He has to tap.
He has to tap. He has to.
Tap for a heal bot.
Heal bot or
Power overwhelm.
Have we seen both? Yeah, we've seen
I don't
both
think
Sun Fury
Ren's power.
Protectors.
Yeah. Both Argus, one Sun Fury, I believe.
Oh,
Oh.
pretty
he's really
much
upset
a
with that.
useless draw because he already has the Void Collar in his hand. And I think that's it.
That looks like it.
Wow.
Mortal Coil face. Oh, he can Mortal Coil that.
Yeah,
owl.
yeah.
So Dark Bomb, Hellfire, anything. That's not anything. Anything but that.
He's going to look it over for a second, but that's going to be a win. You can see Koroneko. He's on the edge of his seat. He's praying that Lifecoach doesn't have an answer
Just so many bricks
to
from
this
Lifecoach.
Sludge Belcher. That's
it was
rough.
that double swipe turn where we're like, oh, if he double swipes, then Lifecoach is going to play creatures, but he has
Yeah.
nothing good.
Nothing to play whatsoever. That Void Collar's been in his hand since the Twilight Trick as well, since almost the beginning of the game.
Yeah, so I think that one play where he Argus the bombs, where I was like, oh, this is pretty good. It's like defensive, but not too defensive. It's like pretty aggressive as well. But it actually was what costed him that lead, that 2 or 3 damage.
Yeah.
He got like one of the bigger creatures down.
It was so close at the end. I mean, both players were on a draw for lethal for about 3 turns. There could have been a Dark Bomb, Hellfire, drew the call off the top for Koroneko.
Force Nature number 2 if he had.
Yeah, it's just so many things that could have swung. And I mean, Lifecoach, I don't feel like he misplayed really at all there. Neither did Koroneko. They both
They both missed one attack though.
one
Remember?
attack because of a row, but
Yeah.
they cancel each other out.
Yeah, but Koroneko's would have been really painful if he like top decks on
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, and
always
that
in
rag
hindsight.
hit. Lifecoach has got to be pretty upset about that 1 out of 3.
Yeah, because that was pretty much game right there. Because if he hadn't hit the Mal'Ganis, either way, the Mal'Ganis would have done. He was at 6 health. The Mal'Ganis would have killed him. So, really rough breaks.
intense.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lifecoach like 2 super long grindy games, the Paladin versus Paladin, and then the Handlock versus Druid that he loses. That's really hurtful when you're in your mental state. See if he can keep it together.
So Koroneko takes a 2-1 lead in this series. The only deck that he has to win with now is Rogue, which we saw him lose a little bit earlier. You're questioning some of his plays. Maybe not his strongest deck. His Rogue deck is a little bit interesting. He does run Double Shade with Black Knight as well. So how is that going to match up against these last 2 decks from Lifecoach?
Lifecoach has Warlock and Paladin. Yeah, Black Knight's really good. The Shade, though, is actually not that good versus either. Very vulnerable to Hellfire and Consecrate. That's like one way you can actually lose to Paladins. You know, your creature's Shade, you like go double Shade. Or just one Shade, Consecrate. That's like one way you can lose.
Yeah. Well, if you guys are enjoying these matches, if you want Koroneko or Lifecoach to win, make sure you guys are talking it up, tweeting at us with the hashtag HLS or at ESL Hearthstone. Of course, we'll be checking those tweets on the breaks to see what you guys think. This one's a nail biter. Lifecoach versus Koroneko. I mean, Lifecoach's matches, they're always more epic. Well, usually because he goes to ropes on a lot of his turns, but these guys have been back and forth in most of their matchups. And Lifecoach, probably one of the favorites coming this one. Koroneko was one of the top seeds, beat out a lot of big name players to get through the Challenger Cup. So I would say these 2 guys are 2 of the players to watch moving forward in this weekend of the Legendary Series.
Okay, I like that Lifecoach is leading Warlock because it's more favored, and then this way he gets more information for his Paladin. Even though he's probably assuming it's just a standard Rogue, maybe he will learn without dying that the Rogue runs Black Knight.
Yeah.
That's usually when you Rogue's a class you don't really dodge Black Knight against. You just like taunt up your biggest dude. Yeah, it'd be really helpful. Although the Paladin, without like Defender of Argus Unfeared, it doesn't really dodge Black Knight. You just like play the taunt. Sucks.
I struggle a lot against Handlock with Rogue, and it's because you have to find prime opportunities for like burst.
Yeah.
You have to sort of dodge big walls while at the same time making sure that you have enough damage to be able to finish him off. And so you have to find a fine balance between getting him low enough to where you can kill him, but not low enough to where he can make huge swing plays with like double Molten Giants, Sludge Belchers, stuff like that.
Yeah, and the oil can get really clogged in your hand early. It does nothing early.
Yeah.
One of the big things is coin is huge because coin drake is really hard for a rogue to beat coin drake, and then alternatively, it's really hard for a handlock to beat coin teacher.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely going to give it to the handlock. The handlock has a better chance to have a better opening.
And it's always tough to balance when to sap early on or when to deal with like that first Twilight Drake.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it comes out on turn 4. It's hard to sap and then build something up because usually you're just like sapping and then re-daggering. And you can't really make too many power turns like you can against like Ramp Druid with the sap. So can be really tough.
Interesting. Keeping the backstab. It's not too bad. I think the Shredder usually I'm happy to see, but since you run Shade, maybe he would have really preferred a Shade and a Teacher. But still keeping Creature. Edwin, with only one Owl, it's actually pretty good. But I guess I'll cast it on turn 5 maybe.
Yeah.
Turn 6. Okay, so that's exactly what Lifecoach wanted. Although, when you're with the coin, Drake is a little bit better because the Mountain Giant comes out one turn later, and then if it gets sapped, it's like one turn later than that. It's really painful.
Yeah. And sometimes if you play the Mountain Giant and it gets sapped, you burn a card next turn if you hold onto the coin.
Yeah.
Which can be really rough if it's an important card in the matchup. So that's one way you can utilize sap to your advantage in this matchup is by forcing your opponent to discard.
All right, so he's gonna go with the coin caller. He's got the Draxus already, so he's gonna put Argus on that Draxus plus something else. You can't sap them both. He doesn't even have a single sap. Although the Black Knight could arrive in Koroneko's hand when that happens.
And since the Draxus would essentially be played for free, and Draxus is such a useful card regardless, he wouldn't even be too upset about having his Draxus sapped if it was taken out. And if he Arguses it, a 4/16 is so hard to deal with because Rogue just doesn't
You can't even flurry it down.
Yeah, you can't flurry it. You can't like backstab, hit, flurry, eviscerate. Like there's just no way for you to be able to deal with that thing efficiently or at all if you're the Rogue player. So
Koroneko's feeling really behind. He could get an 8/8. You don't want to get an 8/8 Edwin to like contest whatever comes out, or a 10/10 if he wants. So he could backstab, prep Deadly, and then backstab the Draxus. It's a 10/10 Edwin versus the 3/13. Lifecoach runs 2 BGH and 1 Owl, though we saw. I don't know if Koroneko does it. I mean, this is fine. I wouldn't feel too behind. I feel totally comfortable playing that Shredder. Look, they both kill each other, and you both get creatures. Maybe they're not the most equal creatures, but a 2-drop versus a 9-drop.
Lifecoach gets a 3/15. Koroneko probably gets a 2/1.
Just an egg, an 0-2 egg.
Yeah, that would be a Peggle. I mean, that could give him maybe a draw, or I could just play right into Mortal Coil. That's
so many possibilities.
Now, Lifecoach has to think here. I guess if he wants Draxus on this board right now.
Yeah. Probably not. You probably want to play it on a turn you play something else too, so you have 2 big creatures, you can't sap them both.
Yeah.
But maybe he's looking at his hand, he's like, well, I have a Mountain Giant next turn if I want it. Sludge Belcher. Let's play it now. I think Argus is... I thought it was clunky, but maybe not. It's actually pretty decent. It's like really getting used. This is one of the creatures like Void Caller. Like usually when you make trades and you leave something at 1 HP versus like a rogue, you're like, oh, he's just gonna hero power. But now it's at 1 HP, but it's like he really doesn't want to hero power. He's thinking about it. He has actually it's really good. So he can Azure Drake, backstab, prep sap, or he can go for a Edwin play. But with the sap, he's really happy with the sap, especially the prep sap.
So this Draxus actually isn't going to be as much of a problem as he thought it'd be. He's got 1 Void Caller out of the way. He knows that one of the demons in the hand is Draxus, so that could help him make better plays later on if another Void Caller comes out, or if he's choosing what he needs to play around when Lifecoach starts to get at low health totals. So now he makes that big swing play. He takes control of the board. He's in a pretty good spot.
You're a really good spot. Like against a handlock with an open board, you're really happy with the Azure Drake at 4 HP because it dodges Hellfire, and then the VOD Teacher at 5 HP. Although he does have the Mortal Coil. If he had the Hellfire, that'd be awesome, but he doesn't. He saw sap, but he knows if he plays the Mountain Giant, it's very vulnerable to spell power kill.
Lifecoach actually looks pretty visibly frustrated right now. He's trying to think through his plays, but right now he feels like whatever he plays, since the rogue is the one that has like the board right now.
Spell power board is super scary. Anything you play into it, you're like, this is gonna die to spells.
Yeah. So he's trying to think here, what does he need to do? Does he need to try and make it as tough as possible to deal with, like the Sludge Belcher, where you have to have 2 bodies that you're forced to deal with?
Yeah, he's got the coil to like finish off the Drake if he wants to trade into it. Also, one thing you might be thinking about is Mountain Giant Shadow Flame later, because he might not get the Molten Giant Shadow Flame off against a Drake.
Yeah. So backstab, dagger up with the deadly poison, and then he can build up an Edwin.
Sick, yeah.
6/6, increases position on the board. Do you play around Mortal Coil by hitting in with the Azure Drake here?
I think you hit in with the Puddle Stomper. Just keep the Azure Drake 4 HP.
Okay.
It's super strong. Because then, you know, your Drake dies to Hellfire, Dark Bomb, other things.
And he's got the sprint to refill his hand as well. Oh, the Hellfire, 1 turn too late. If he had it in the last turn, he would have been in a great spot.
It's still pretty good, though, because now, if he Hellfires and then he's like, koroneko, we saw like earlier, he didn't really respect the Molten Giants. He's like, I don't think you have it, I'm going to hit in. So now he's going to get a Molten Giant for free.
Yeah.
And he's got the heal bot and the taunt. I think you go for the Hellfire. But he might favor like putting something on the board and then Shadow Flaming it next turn.
It can be slightly risky, but at the same time, he sees that koroneko only has 2 cards left in his hand. Now, of course, koroneko, one of those cards is Sprint, which when your hand's running low,
it's what you want.
That's what you want.
Yeah, I think it's pretty amazing Hellfire here. Maybe he's doing some oil math, but again, when you see the rogue with only 1 charge, you're like not really as afraid of oil.
Mm-hmm. Because like an oil blade flurry would be really, really hard, because you'd have to find a way to, first of all,
yeah, it is lethal though, because with the deadly oil, if he gets oil at the top, he will kill.
Oh wow, okay.
Oh, that is, I don't like it.
Oh, he can still go for it.
Yeah, you go for it.
Wow.
All right.
So he has 13 damage right now. Just staring back at him. He's going to have to sprint now. If he doesn't draw into like a prep, or he's actually used both backstabs.
Oh man, you just go all face and then you flurry it later.
Yeah.
He's actually 1 mana off of going for the deadly oil flurry next turn. But you could just like oil flurry.
Oh. Molten Giant, anti-kill bot, Sunfury Protector.
Yeah. Because you have to kill the spell power though. You can also like Shadow Flame if he wants. Oh no, you can't. Okay. Got a heal bot.
Yeah, I think that's the only way. I mean, he could tap, but he's dead then. Because if he heals up and then taps, he'd be at 12. Well, he wouldn't know he'd be dead because he'd kill off the spell power, most likely.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you have to assume he just had Sprint. He's gonna have 7 cards in his hand. There's so many cards that would just kill you outright from 12 health. You would need 6 total damage. You wouldn't have a taunt on the board if he decided to tap in that situation. I think anti-kill bot, Sunfury Protector. Now, you might be deciding what target to actually taunt.
Kill. Usually you go for the, oh, I like it. I like it. I like it.
Heal bot. I think he has to heal bot here.
Yeah.
I think it's just a little bit too
I mean, there's no reason
greedy
really
and crazy.
Oh, the Shadow Flame. He was thinking about Shadow Flame. Okay.
Okay. Does he have enough mana for it? 2, 3.
1 damage off. He's 1 damage off with the flurry. SI7. Do you still flurry? Oh, you still just flurry the board down in SI7, the giant. Yeah. You're not even sad about hitting the giant because you have the heal bot. You're a little sad about losing your second flurry with that oil in your hand, but it's gonna have SI7 on the board versus the heal bot Argus maybe, and then Lifecoach goes with the Drax. It's the following turn.
Yep.
Oh, you could even just oil flurry the board and save the deadly SI7, but I think you want the SI7 on the board here.
Yeah.
Although, okay, if you oil flurry, then you get the SI7 to face next turn if he taunts up again, but I think it's pretty clear just regular flurry with the deadly SI7.
Yeah, and in a way, this play from Lifecoach could be...
Okay, interesting. Okay, so this is what he's saying is he wants to go for the deadly oil flurry the following turn.
Yeah.
He has enough mana.
Yeah. I think this plays in the last turn. Holding off on the anti-heal bot might have been good because that could have forced
really
koroneko into playing a suboptimal play, hoping that he would just have enough damage next turn for just a flurry play. Because now he could be behind even.
Yeah, if Life actually okay, I gotta give it to Lifecoach. Holding the anti-heal bot made koroneko play the suboptimal play.
Yeah.
Like you said, if he played it, then koroneko would have just made like the long-term play, and he has like a pretty much a better hand because the Drax isn't really gonna get value. Okay.
Now he's going to be able to clear the board here, keep himself relatively healthy. His Molten Giant's going to be relatively healthy as well.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out if that giant hit to the face is worth it. Probably is, but maybe he's like, I don't need it. Maybe I'll just trade to prevent... Oh my gosh, the balls. Now I think, I don't know. So do you trade now that you tapped? Oh, you know what it is the Draxus. He's like, I'm not...
Yeah.
Alright, so oil does only 6 to the face. And now... Nah, you can't go for it. So Dr. Boom, Dagger, and then you could oil flare the following turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that play.
Actually, it's lethal because if okay, so if he Dr. Boom daggers, Lifecoach trades into the Dr. Boom and one of the bombs, and then he can't kill all. Oh, he can kill all 3 bombs. Okay, I was wrong. But okay. If he like swings Draxus in, he should be good. Okay.
It's gonna be really close.
Yeah.
The only option here would be to like just clear the board this turn, like use the flurry. But then he's using a lot of his burst. He'll put him down to 4, but he knows that Draxus is in the hand.
Yeah, when you see that, yeah.
Because he sapped it earlier. So unless he forgot, very doubtful.
No.
I mean, I know games against Lifecoach can be a little bit long sometimes, but you can't forget that there was a Draxus. The Dr. Boom, dagger up.
Yeah.
Gonna be the play here. Oh, koroneko is just hoping right now.
Yeah, so his oil flurry does 12. So if the bomb hits for 3, or if the bomb lives, then he can oil it up. He's in really good shape. I guess Lifecoach doesn't have to Draxus though if he doesn't want to. He could like set up more taunts now.
Yeah, Drax is really risky because it's taking up his whole turn here. And he's basically just hoping at that point that he's putting it in Koroneko's hands to sort of have what he needs to finish the game.
He wanted second Arc. Can he still get 2 Argus targets? He can get 2 Sun for your targets, okay.
Mm-hmm. This is really rough.
Okay, actually, if he Twilight Drake, Ancient Watch, okay, yeah. The other play would just die to Flurry still.
Yeah.
So.
Keeps him as healthy as possible, but it sort of seems like he's just buying time over and over again.
Okay, I like that hit into the thing first. Okay, so he's alive at 2 HP, but koroneko could top deck. That's lethal. Yeah.
Yep. Wow, he's gonna count it over in his head here. And Lifecoach, you can see him like shaking his head just a little bit. He knows that all it takes is a very small combination of cards here. Well, I guess it's 4 cards, so it's not that small, but Deadly Poison. He was making sure that he had enough mana for it, and he does with 1 mana to spare. And you can see koroneko throwing his head back, takes off the headphones. 3-1 over Lifecoach. I was talking to him yesterday. He said Lifecoach is his favorite player. He looks up to him the most. He's looking forward to play him, and he actually beats him.
Lifecoach doesn't wave back
in the first round. Maybe he's not looking at his webcam.
Yeah. I don't look at the. Yeah.
Wow. Now Lifecoach is not out. This is the GSL style group, so he will go on to face Limajux in the elimination match. But wow, what a performance by koroneko. I mean,
yeah, it was great.
Did get a break with that rag, but it was.
Yeah, some of the RNG didn't go Lifecoach's way. He's really upset about that, as you can see. But
yeah.
Well played from both sides for the most part.
Yeah, Lifecoach has seemed sort of unstoppable recently. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Only losing one game, not even one match, one game in the Kingdom Pro League out of like almost 15 that he's played so far. He's just on a tear, and koroneko, of course, he continues his streak of taking out all these strong players through the Challenger Cup, now through the Legendary Series match day. He's really putting in the work.
Expect to see him on Gosu Gamers just farming all the high-rated players.
Yeah, farming all the high-rated players, and I'm sure I don't know actually how the point system works, but Lifecoach might get knocked down a few pegs.
Most likely, definitely.
It makes your case a little bit better.
Oh yeah.
Moving up from 19, you're going to pass Lifecoach.
Yep.
Yeah, really great stuff. After this match, of course, we will have the winners match of Group A. We are going to complete Group A. Okay. And then we're going to move on to Group B at the second part of the day. So the winners match is going to be up next. Of course, that is going to be koroneko versus GCT Turth, who we saw earlier. And of course, none of this would be possible, guys, without our wonderful sponsors, Plantronics and Gigabyte. If you guys want to support esports, if you need some new rig headsets or some new motherboards from Gigabyte, you can head over to those websites you see on your screen below us and check out our sponsors. Of course, we have a lot of prize pools, a lot of giveaways this season, and none of that would be possible without any of them. But guys, we do have lots more Hearthstone Legendary Series